If we are going to meet our Father in heaven, why did Jesus ask us to pray for the kingdom to come to the earth in Matthew chapter 6, verse 10? Just by asking this question alone, it now makes it clear that, maybe there's something iffy with this idea of going to heaven, because it wouldn't make sense for Jesus Christ to be saying, pray for the kingdom to come to the earth, if we are going to live eternally in heaven. Because to start off, what is the kingdom, right? The kingdom is the process that God has initiated through which the world would be restored to righteousness. If you read Acts chapter 3, verses 19 to 21, Peter spoke about the times of refreshing and the times of restitution of all things. Peter also spoke about how there would be new heavens and a new earth made in 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 13, which he took from Isaiah chapter 65 verses 17 to 25, right? So the Bible has made it clear in so many passages that this world would be restored for what purpose? So that we, God's children, could inherit it in the future. If you read Matthew chapter 5 verse 5, Christ said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." He took that from Psalm 37 verses 9 and 11, which say the same thing. God Almighty, when he made the earth, he made it so that it could be inhabited. If you read Isaiah chapter 45 verse 18, he made it to dwell forever. If you read Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 4. So how would all of this make sense if at the end of the day, we're just going to go to heaven, right? It's like, for example, let's say you have guests that have told you that they're coming, right? And you're preparing meals, special meals that they're going to enjoy. But then before they came to your house, they went to a fine restaurant and they ate well there. And then by the time you serve all this great food, they're like, oh, we're not really hungry because we already ate. How are you going to feel knowing that your food is not going to be eaten, right? So it's kind of like this sense of God Almighty is investing in trying to restore the world to righteousness so that his children can inherit it. And then we are talking about, we're going to go to heaven, right? It doesn't really make a lot of sense. So to be able to understand where the contradictions and issues are coming from, we have to make an important distinction that a lot of people don't make. And that's the fact that the apostles, which are the ones actually going to heaven, are different from the general class of Christians that will inherit the earth. Let me explain who apostles are. Among God's people are leaders. Just as in any country you have the government, right? They're the leaders of the people. Similarly, the Christian folk has leaders, and these leaders are called apostles. If you read Luke chapter 6 verses 12 and 13, you see where Jesus Christ, he had many disciples, but then of those disciples, he then chose 12. Who he called apostles. Let's consider the text. It says, "And it came to pass in those days that Jesus went out into a mountain to pray and continued all night in prayer to God. And when it was day, he called unto him his disciples. And of them he chose 12, whom also he named apostles." So in essence, the apostles are people who are anointed by God Almighty to spread the good news of the kingdom to the world. If you read Isaiah chapter 52 verse 7. And they are special to Jesus Christ. They're like the cabinet members, right? Just as a president has those that are within, that he speaks to on a daily basis. Jesus Christ has the same. They're the apostles. And that's why they go to heaven. It's just like how if you're a man and you marry a woman and she becomes your wife, she's going to stay with you in your bedroom. But by the time you begin to have children, you're going to put the children in the other bedrooms because there's that kind of special bond you have with your wife. Your children cannot claim to have that same bond with you. Doesn't mean you don't care about them or you don't love them, but there's that special, unique kind of love you have for your wife. The apostles, in fact, were described as Jesus Christ's wife in Revelation chapter 21 verse 9, because there's that special relationship. God Almighty gave the apostles to Jesus Christ as a gift, just as he did by giving the Levites to Aaron, the high priest at that time. If you read Numbers chapter 8 verse 19. So it is very important we make this distinction between the apostles and the other Christians. Jesus Christ even said in John chapter 10 verse 16, he made this distinction for us. "And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold." This fold fold here is the apostles. They were referred to as the little flock in Luke chapter 12, verse 32. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. And he was saying that this is separate from the other sheep. Once again, and other sheep I have, which are not of this fold. Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. It is when we understand this distinction that we'll be able to understand many other passages in the scriptures that talk about people going to heaven. So like John chapter 14, verses 1 to 3, Jesus Christ was like, I go and prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. He was talking to the apostles. He was not talking to all the other Christians, because the will of God is that we Christians, we abide in the earth, but then the apostles, they live with their husband, so to speak, who is Jesus Christ in heaven. So in essence, the reason why Jesus Christ asks us to pray for the kingdom to come to the earth is because we as Christians are going to inherit the kingdom on this earth, as we've discussed. The only people going to heaven are the apostles, and the reason is they are a special class of Christians that were given to Jesus Christ as a kind of gift, as a wife, as a companion, and so they abide with Jesus Christ, who of course lives in heaven. That's why they go to heaven, so that they can be with Jesus. So if you enjoyed this video and learned something new today, I'd appreciate if you click the like button and also the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when I come back with another video, you can click the notification bell. Have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.